What's up, everybody? I'm Justin David Carl of lifesrake.com, YouTube, Life's Rake, Instagram, Life's Rake. My fitness only Instagram is Fitness Rake. And today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite food hacks. Over the last several months, even last 2 years maybe, I started this habit of hacking favorite meals and food. Basically creating my own Fitness Rake version of the food that I loved. This is the first one I'm sharing. I literally have Fitness Rake Cinnamon Toast Crunch every single day, and sometimes several times a day. Literally been having it for the last several months. So I'm going to share with you how I make it, the ingredients, and then kind of the ingredient profile difference between the original stuff and my version, as well as tell you a couple of reasons behind why I created it the way I did. So yeah, quick backstory. I loved Cinnamon Toast Crunch growing up. Literally ate it every single day. You know, in high school, when I started getting more serious about sports and stuff, I'd still have it along with my protein shake in the morning before school. Then in college, I got into bodybuilding and weightlifting and started to really focus on my eating. And unfortunately, Cinnamon Toast Crunch doesn't really qualify as bodybuilding approved food. So I gave it up. I gave it up for years, maybe even like 10 years. But several months ago, I discovered and created my own Fitness Rake version of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So the ingredients for my version in of themselves are pretty boring. I ask that you withhold your judgment until you actually try it, because it is really good. The ingredients that I use are pretty boring, but all together it tastes pretty damn good. And honestly, it builds muscle, my version. It helps you reduce body fat. It keeps you feeling full, and it tastes really good. And it's gonna sound crazy, but honestly, just try it. So the ingredients for my version of Cinnamon Toast Crunch is Fiber One cereal, fat-free cottage cheese, and almond milk. I like almond coconut blend, unsweetened, literally almost no calories in it. Couple notes about the fiber cereal. There are other versions. Trader Joe's has a version. I'm sure lots of different stores have various versions. I like Fiber One purely because it's so low in calories. Literally 60 calories per serving and a ton of fiber. And more importantly, insoluble fiber. So 13 grams of insoluble fiber per serving. We'll share a little bit more a little bit later about why fiber is so important and my philosophy behind it. So real quick, how I make it. I track all my food in MyFitnessPal. Feel free to follow me on, or friend request me on MyFitnessPal. It's the same as my fitness Instagram. It's Fitness Rake. You can see all the crazy stuff I eat regularly. So I measure everything out, and when I eat out, I estimate everything. And just a special note, I eat out almost every single day. I eat everything from pizza to hamburgers to ice cream and cookies every single night. And ultimately I will share my overall fitness eating strategy, which I call flex eating, because it's fun, it's flexible, and it keeps you in flexing shape year round. But that's another video, that's another blog post. Speaking of blog posts, I also wrote a blog post about this on lifesrake.com, so make sure you check that out too. It's a little bit more detailed, much more organized. But anyways, how you make Fitness Rate Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So first, you start with the cottage cheese, and make sure it's fat-free cottage cheese, because this stuff is crazy packed with protein, and there's no fat in it, and there's almost no carbs. So per serving, 80 calories, 14 grams of protein, which is huge, and only 4 grams of carbs. So I typically use a serving and a half, so I'm going to measure that out real quick. I like the Trader Joe's version of cottage cheese. You can get any type of version. The one thing I like more about this than some of the other ones offered at other stores is it seems to be a lot lower in sodium than other versions. But other than that, it really doesn't matter. They pretty much all are exactly the same macro calories, 80 calories per serving, 14 grams of protein, etc. Next step is cinnamon. So cinnamon is crucial. Obviously Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I'm not sure if you can see that, but anyways, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is made with cinnamon, and it's one of the things that makes it taste so amazing. Cinnamon is calorie-free, like most spices, which is awesome. So I use a fair amount. I like mine very cinnamony. I don't even know how to say that, but anyways, very, very cinnamon flavored. So I pour that on. And this is a crucial part, actually. So don't put the cinnamon on last, or you accidentally might inhale it. If you're feeling adventurous or crazy, try eating a spoonful of cinnamon. It is really tough. You'll probably choke, but it's key to put it directly on the cottage cheese so it starts to soak in. Then the next step is big fiber cereal. I already have some open. I use usually a serving and a half each time around. This is actually super important point. For me personally, I've found when I use 2 or more servings of fiber cereal at one time, like per bowl of cereal, it actually causes minor stomach discomfort for me. As long as I stay at about 1.5 per serving, or 1.5 servings per bowl, I seem to be fine. So I could literally have a bowl, eat a chicken sandwich, and then have another bowl and have, 1.5 servings each time and be totally fine, no stomach discomfort. But for some reason, when I have 2 or more servings per bowl, it irritates my stomach. Now, I encourage you to, start with less and then work your way up. Everyone's body is different, and you're just gonna have to find out for yourself. My limit seems to be 2 servings per ingestion, but you may be different. You may be a little lower than me, you may be higher than me. It doesn't really matter. Just figure out what works for you. And it's not terrible. It's just like I can feel it, and it's not comfortable. But it's not like I'm crying or I need to go to the hospital or I need to use a bathroom really bad. So measure out a serving and a half. There we are. And then next is this over here. Actually, next is Splenda. So just like I like a lot of cinnamon, I like a lot of sweetener. So for this version, you can use any type of calorie-free sweetener. I like Splenda. It tastes the best to me. Another one I really like is monk fruit sugar, or calorie-free sweetener. It's made from some sort of fruit I've never heard of. It tastes really good too, but it's more expensive than Splenda. You can use Stevia, you can use Sweet and Low, you can use Equal. It doesn't matter. The key is sugar-free, because then you can make it as sugary as you want and not worry about calories. So I use 3 packs or more. So I put that on next. There we go. And then the last step is the almond milk. Now, the reason I like almond milk so much is because it's crazy low in calories. It has, I think, just as much calcium. Actually, it has 50% more calcium than dairy milk, which is awesome. So, a couple things about calcium. Calcium is incredibly good for building muscle and maintaining lean muscle mass. It's good for burning, keeping your body fat levels in optimal ranges. So the regular almond milk unsweetened is only 30 calories per serving, which is amazing. This one is 5 calories more, but I like the coconut flavor. It adds a little bit more kick to the flavor for me, so the 5 calories is worth it. And I usually only use at most half a cup at a time, so it's literally like 18 calories per serving, versus half a cup of 2% milk is 70 calories. So 70 calories versus 18. 35 calories for a cup of this versus 140 calories for this. So 5 grams of fat versus 3 grams of fat. So, anyways, last step, put on half a cup of this. So, I actually normally just pour it straight on because I know exactly how many grams half a cup of this is. But for the video, I'm going to pour it out so you guys can see. So, half a cup. Boom. Pour that on. Boom. Now, honestly, it doesn't look like much, but it freaking tastes amazing. So next, real quick, I want to show you what, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you what a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch looks like. So we're going to do that real quick so you guys can see that. Obviously, less work with the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but, being in great shape, sometimes you gotta do a little more work, although you can have a lot of fun doing it. So, let's see if I can get this open. Alright, so we'll do the same. We'll do a serving and a half of this, which is gonna be 47 grams. So, there we are. And then half a cup of milk. I'm sure you guys can see what I'm doing here. Get that Splenda trash out of the way. All right, half a cup of milk. Boom. And there we go. All right, so here's where it gets nice and interesting. So we have that amazing setup there, and this here. All right, so that maybe took half a minute longer. Maybe a little bit longer because I was actually talking it out. But anyways, okay. So, already you can see just the density and mass difference. And this is where it gets really interesting. So in this bowl, it's 228 calories, 44 grams of carbs, 3 grams of fat, and 25 grams of protein. 25 grams of protein. That's like a full scoop of protein powder. Full scoop of protein powder is usually around 140 calories, but it doesn't have any fiber or carbs or anything like that in it. So that's what you need after the gym, or before if you have your protein before and after the gym. This, on the other hand, has only 12 grams of protein. But this is where it gets really interesting. It's almost 100 calories more. You can already see the difference in like just sheer volume of food. So this one has 335 grams or 335 calories in it. It has 52 grams of carbs, 10 grams of fat versus 3 grams of fat, and only 12 grams of protein versus 25. So twice as much protein, 100 less calories, literally 30% of the fat that's in here. And then here's where it gets even crazier. And I'll explain about fiber in a minute. So this has 21 grams of fiber. This has 3 grams of fiber. And some thoughts and reasons behind fiber. When you want to maintain like a really lean muscle mass, like maintain a really lean, ripped body year-round, whether you're a guy or a girl, you need to keep yourself feeling full, because it's really easy to eat more calories when they're less quality calories. So the thing about fiber is it literally, fiber cereal is stocked full of insoluble fiber, which is amazing because it's like free calories. You eat it, it takes up space in your stomach, and then it exits, and your body can't even break it down. So there's some awesome benefits to that. It's kind of gross talking about, but basically fiber cleans your colon and your intestines, so it cleans out all the toxic waste material that just sits in people's body, sometimes for like years. It's disgusting. And fiber, especially insoluble fiber, is basically like a scrubber. It scrubs like the walls of all your intestines and your colon, and it just breaks up all that toxic waste and helps it pass through your body. So it's really, really good for detoxifying your body. It's also incredible for keeping you feeling full. And it literally, when you make it like this, it honestly tastes just as sweet and sugary as this. And it's way more filling. So, some things about cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is basically the same as casein protein, or casein, I'm not sure how to say it. But anyways, that's the protein that bodybuilders will take like before they go to sleep. And it's the slow digesting or slow protein that is incredible for your body for a few reasons. One, it takes like 7 to 8 hours to break down versus like 3 to 5 of whey protein, which is what most protein powder is made of. So that's awesome because, again, like the fiber, it keeps you feeling full for a long time. It also feeds your body and your muscles for 7 to 8 hours. So it's an awesome thing to start your day with and end your day with. So I pretty much have this at the beginning of every day, usually right before, right after the gym, as well as before I go to sleep. That way I'm constantly feeding my muscles, and that's amazing. So the cinnamon is incredible in the sense that cinnamon actually helps your body break down carbs. It also slows down the processing of food, which is another key factor in staying full. So this meal, Fitness Rake Cinnamon Toast Crunch, it's going to help you stay feeling full longer. It feeds your muscles. It helps with maintaining lean body mass. It helps you burn or reduce fat, because by breaking down carbs with the cinnamon, helping to break down it makes it so carbs aren't stored as body fat. So it makes your body more efficient at breaking down the carbs. One special note on cinnamon, I think this is the cheap version, which is cassia cinnamon. It's like Chinese cinnamon. It's a lot cheaper. There's a much healthier version called Ceylon. It's Ceylon. You can get it at health food stores. I ran out, so I'm using this for the video. But you can get it at health food stores, order on Amazon, whatever. It's better for you. I don't care that much. When I have energy, I buy the better stuff. But you know, as long as you're not eating a whole thing of this a day, there's not really going to be too much negative effects of it. So you can eat the cheaper stuff if you wish. So yeah, there's also the same amount of calcium in this as there is in this. It's actually, there's 53% of your daily intake here, 50% here. So couple end notes. This is an incredible snack to have. A lot of times I will actually have only one serving of this, so that's half the cottage cheese, and a fourth a cup of this and one serving of this. I'll have it like right before I go to a lunch or dinner meeting, so that way when I get to dinner or lunch or the meeting, I'm already kind of feeling full, so I don't over order or overeat at the meal, which is it's just kind of a strategy I use. I build strategy into everything I do. That's one of the ways I stay well under 10% body fat year round. So I also have it before I go to bed, like I said. When you are cutting, shredding up, or trying to lose body fat or body weight, whether you're a guy or a girl, you have to actually burn more calories than you take in per day. And your body tends to kind of like freak out when you start doing that because it doesn't feel as full. So I notice for myself, when I don't have cottage cheese before I go to bed, I wake up starving, sometimes in the middle of the night. But as long as I have cottage cheese before I go to bed, I never wake up hungry. I don't even eat for the first hour or two when I get up. So that's huge. I prefer to eat all of my protein, so cottage cheese is an amazing source. Some of my friends literally like gag when I mention cottage cheese because they think it's disgusting. I love the stuff, but the nice thing about this is with the coconut milk, the cinnamon, the sugar, honestly you don't even taste it. So even if you don't really like cottage cheese, I encourage you to give this a shot. You'll probably like it. And if you don't, leave me a comment. It's all good. I'm just trying to hack all my childhood favorites and all the stuff I love to, or used to love to eat and still love to eat, but can't eat it 3 or 4 times a day like I can this. So I'll be sharing more of my food hacks. I think it's super fun for me to do. It's a great way to eat great tasting stuff that's incredibly good for you, and it's a lot of fun. And for the people who know me personally, fun is one of the most essential things for me in anything I do. So I try to build it into all of my fitness strategies. So I guess that's about it. This is probably way longer than I needed to be. Hopefully I covered everything. There's a lot more detail and organization in my blog post about hacking Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's at lifesrake.com. Again, follow my YouTube channel, Life's Rake. I'm going to break out all the fitness stuff underneath Fitness Rake category. You can follow my fitness Instagram at Fitness Rake. You can follow my general Instagram at Life's Rake. My Twitter is Justin David Carl. And that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoy it. leave me comments, whether you like this or not. If you have questions or anything, all feedback is good feedback. And I look forward to showing you guys some more of the stuff I do. Like, next up will probably be, or at least in the near future, healthy chicken and waffles. So that will be a fun one. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Justin David Carl of lifesrake.com. Have a blessed day. Peace.